Welcome back to Investing Talk Podcast. Today, we are analyzing a stock that's really caught in the cross currents, Paladine AI Corp. And the big question, the one everyone seems to be asking is Paladine AI a good time to buy right now? Before we jump in, please do hit that subscribe button. Maybe give us a like if you find this helpful. And hey, if there's a specific company you want us to look into next time, just leave a comment below. We do read those. Now, the sources we looked at for Paladine AI, they paint this almost contradictory picture. It's fascinating. You've got huge momentum drivers, index inclusion, the whole AI story. But then you look at the financials, and there are some pretty serious warning signs, real operational liabilities. It's like classic market excitement versus the hard numbers.
It really is. And what's interesting here, I think, is understanding that a lot of Paladine AI's recent price movement isn't necessarily about, stellar earnings. It's being driven by these external, almost mechanical things index funds having to buy, the broad AI theme catching fire. So to answer that core question, is it a buy? We really have to carefully balance that market enthusiasm against the company's actual financial health, or lack thereof, maybe.
Okay, let's start with the positive side then, the momentum, the bull case. Paladine AI made this strategic pivot not too long ago, focusing squarely on AI software for autonomous robotics.
Yeah, that set the stage.
But the real catalyst, the big one, landed in August 2025.
Yes, the S&P Global BMI Index Inclusion Confirmation, BMI, that's Broad Market Index. And getting into that, well, it basically forces passive index funds and ETFs tracking the whole market to buy the stock. It's almost automatic buying pressure.
And the market just ate it up. I mean, that news alone caused a massive, 40% jump in the share price, triggered huge institutional inflows almost instantly.
Absolutely. Pure mechanics driving demand.
And that momentum carried through, didn't it? The stock was still holding up well, closed at $8.77 just a couple of days ago, September 22nd.
It has held up remarkably well. But it's not just the index inclusion, to be fair. We have to connect this to some real-world traction they're getting. They are making genuine progress in the defense sector, which is, notoriously hard to crack.
Right, the military contracts.
Exactly. They've hit several advanced milestones on a pretty important U.S. Air Force contract. This involves their Palladyne IQ platform, proving it can handle complex closed-loop autonomy tasks, things like automated aircraft remediation. That's not trivial stuff. So it does lend real credibility to their military business line, validates that part of the strategy.
Okay, so that validation plus the index momentum leads us to some key dates investors are circling on the calendar.
Eyes peeled for these.
First up is October 10th, 2025. That's when the institutional ETF rebalancing happens. Expected to keep trading volume fairly high, right?
Correct. More mechanical buying, potentially, or at least sustained interest around that date.
Then, the big one, October 28th, their Q3 2025 earnings release.
Yeah, that'll be crucial.
And finally, maybe a bit more niche but important for their defense narrative, the Veterans Day government contract update on November 11th.
Definitely. And during these events, investors really need to look beyond just the top-line revenue figure. You've got to parse two things carefully. One, tangible progress on those military contracts are they delivering? And two, perhaps more importantly, what's the overall financial trajectory? Is that index money actually fueling sustainable growth? Or is the cash burn just getting worse?
Good point. And speaking of things moving the stock, this is an AI company. We absolutely have to talk about the rumors and speculation, the hype factor.
Oh, absolutely. This stock is incredibly sensitive to whispers and speculation. These things can really move the needle, sometimes on pretty thin volume, even if they're totally unconfirmed.
So what are the big ones we're tracking? First, there's this persistent talk about a major semiconductor partnership.
Right, to co-develop specific low-power processors tailor-made for their robotics. That would be a significant development for their edge computing capability.
Definitely. Second, M&A talk just won't go away. Whispers of acquisition interest from a major U.S. tech player looking to beef up their AI automation portfolio.
That one surfaces every few weeks, it seems. Plausible, but purely speculative right now.
And then there's the really futuristic one, Palladyne Quantum.
Yes. The next-gen AI platform they're supposedly working on.
Supposedly offering real-time adaptive autonomy. Sounds impressive anyway.
It does. And look, if even one of these high-impact rumors turns out to be true, you could see another sharp upward move in the stock. That's the potential upside from the speculation.
Okay, so that's the potential reward, the excitement, the momentum.
But now, we have to pivot. We need to look squarely at the financial statements, the fundamental risks. The hype and that index-driven momentum, they need to be weighed against the, let's call it the sobering reality of the company's financial health.
Right, this is where the sources we reviewed really pump the brakes on the whole narrative.
And the number one issue is profitability, or rather, the complete lack of it. Paladine AI reported a net loss for the first 6 months of 2024. That's pretty clear. And beyond that, if you dig into their filings, they consistently show comprehensive losses in recent quarters too.
Hold on, if they're landing these big defense contracts we talked about and getting all this institutional interest, why are we still seeing consistent losses?
Yeah.
And what's the difference between a standard net loss and those comprehensive losses you mentioned? Is it significant?
That's a really critical question. So net loss is your basic revenues minus expenses from core operations. Pretty straightforward. Comprehensive loss is broader. It includes changes in the company's equity that don't necessarily come from selling products or services. Things like adjustments for foreign currency exchange rates, or maybe certain gains or losses on investments they haven't sold yet. But honestly, whether it's net loss or comprehensive loss, the main takeaway, the underlying trend, is negative. They have continued net cash outflows from their operations.
Meaning negative free cash flow.
Exactly. Negative free cash flow. They are actively burning through cash just to run the business day to day.
And that cash burn isn't just operational costs. It's also high spending on equipment and stock compensation, right?
Precisely. You see cash going out for property and equipment, which you might expect for a growing tech company, but you also see significant amounts allocated to stock-based compensation. Now, technically, that's a non-cash accounting expense.
But it still dilutes existing shareholders.
It absolutely dilutes shareholders, and it represents a real economic cost. And when you combine that dilution potential with the ongoing negative cash flow from operations, it paints a picture of a company that is fundamentally dependent on tapping the capital markets, selling more stock, or taking on debt just to keep the lights on. And that dependence is explicitly called out as a major risk factor in their own 10K filings.
Okay, so profitability issues, cash burn. Then you add the competitive landscape. You mentioned they only rebranded from whatever they were before in March 2024. That's quite recent.
Very recent. That, combined with the lack of profits, really suggests they're still in a very nascent, maybe even precarious market position. They're up against huge, established tech incumbents with deep pockets and existing customer relationships. It's really difficult to argue at this stage that Paladine AI has carved out a durable competitive moat, a lasting advantage. And that's worrying when your business model isn't proven profitable yet and you're burning cash.
Okay, let's layer on some market sentiment red flags then. Insider activity, for instance. We always look at what management is doing with their own shares. And our sources flagged insider selling activity by executives between June and August 2025.
Right after that big price run-up following the index news.
Exactly. When executives are selling shares after a huge rally, it doesn't exactly scream confidence to outside investors, does it?
No, it certainly clashes with the bullish narrative. It's a data point you can't ignore. And another thing, despite all the AI hype and that index inclusion, there's still a noticeable lack of coverage from the big Wall Street players. You know, the major investment banks, the widely followed analysts, they haven't really jumped on board yet. It suggests the professional due diligence hasn't fully bought into the long-term story.
Okay, so quite a conflict here. Hype, momentum, index mechanics on one side, serious financial issues and red flags on the other. Given all that push and pull, what does the stock chart itself tell us from a technical perspective? What's the recent price action look like?
Well, the technical picture definitely reflects that conflict and suggests caution. Yes, the stock had that massive spike on the index news, but if you look at the trading over the past month or so, you see increased volatility and actually a slight downward bias recently. It looks more like it's consolidating, maybe digesting the big gains rather than being in a clear, sustainable uptrend right now.
Any key levels traders are watching?
Yeah, near-term technical support seems to be forming in the, say, $6 to $6 to $6.40 range. Buyers have stepped in there before. On the upside, resistance looks pretty firm in the $7 to $7 to $7.50 zone. It's struggled to break convincingly above that. Overall, the chart shows classic high beta behavior, big swings, sharp moves. It signals high-risk trading.
Okay, so let's try to bring it all together. We've got the mandated institutional buying, the AI buzz, the defense contract potential, versus significant ongoing losses, cash burn, insider selling, technical consolidation. The core question, is Paladine AI a good time to buy now?
Okay, boiling it all down. based purely on the financial fundamentals and the risks clearly outlined in their own 10K, specifically the ongoing losses, the unproven business model, and that critical dependence on external funding. The risk level is just too high for a typical long-term investor seeking, sustainable growth and profitability. Our overall rating, when you weigh the lack of profits, the negative cash flow, insider selling, lack of broad analyst coverage, and the somewhat weak technicals, it has to be very low. For a long-term investment portfolio, we'd rate it a 2 out of 10.
A 2 out of 10.
Pretty low. Very low. Now, to be very precise here, that doesn't mean no one should trade it. This stock might be suitable, but only for highly speculative, very risk-tolerant traders. Traders who are focused solely on playing short-term volatility around specific events, like that upcoming earnings report or the ETF rebalancing. It's a potential momentum trade based on news and flows, not a fundamental investment based on the underlying business strength. There's a big difference.
Right. So the story of momentum driven by these big institutional milestones, like the index inclusion, clashing directly with some severe financial headwinds, the losses, the cash outflow.
Exactly. And maybe the final thought for you, the listener, to really chew on is this. If institutional money is driving the price purely because index rules say they have to buy it, how long can that last? How long can that mandated buying pressure prop up the stock before the market demands actual operational execution? Before it demands proof that they can turn this unproven business model into a profitable one? Because at the end of the day, the market always circles back to execution and profitability. Always.
That's a powerful point to consider. The market eventually demands results, not just hyper-technical flows. Okay, so now you have the full picture, hopefully unbiased. The market mechanics, the potential catalysts, the rumors, but also the harsh financial realities and risks surrounding Paladine AI. Hopefully you can use this framework, this kind of analysis, to critically evaluate the next hyped stock story that comes across your screen. Thank you for joining us for this look at Paladine AI Corp. We'll see you on the next analysis.